I have made a lot of wrestling videos in the last 8 years. And my favorite thing to do is always custom stories, and you guys probably know that. WWE 2K20 is less than, 4 months away, and we still know nothing. The other day, I touched on a gameplay features video for things I wanted, including special guest referees, stories, among other items. Today, I wanted to talk about the overall concept of WWE 2K20, things that I think will definitely help out with the foundation of the game and help improve. You guys had a lot of great suggestions in the last video between things that I didn't even think about. Stuff like Hell in the Cell ringside fighting. We were sold on the marketing that the ringside fighting was better, and at first it was, and then playing the game more often after just the preview event, it got very repetitive. The thing about WWE 2K is the more realistic they go, I think we can all agree it turns everybody off. We can all agree the game kind of needs an arcade mode or something that separates it to give us a different experience. Something I have yet to talk about on this channel was definitely the fact that they feel the need to compete against themselves. Even Ukes, who develops the game with 2K, even though 2K down in Nevada has quite a big studio now with visual concepts, Ukes feels like they were hamstringed. And just a couple years ago, we were complaining Ukes was the reason the game was in the hole. So clearly there isn't necessarily a right or wrong situation on who's right. But if you're a gamer, you don't care. You just want the features. The rumored stuff this year, a Kurt Angle involved in an incentive package. We've seen Hulk Hogan possibly sign stuff. Becky Lynch possibly could be the cover athlete. A women's showcase could be featured. And this is a thing when a lot of us said we didn't want the showcase mode. When it came back, the casual fans wanted it. So maybe I'm starting to get out of touch on what the casual fan wants in a video game, especially like WWE 2K. Personally, I've always enjoyed it, but again, I never have a need to re-pick it up. When you go back and play the old games, the glaring stuff that you missed, which I'm going to talk about heavily in this video, because I've gone back to GM mode, which is the pride and butter of my channel. One of my favorite things I've always done. The reason I love GM mode is because I would control it, but it necessarily wasn't the mode. It was that I could make it fun. If you go back and play GM mode, like I've casually had some people try, it may not seem as entertaining. Some stuff does get repetitive, and there's obviously a lot of fixes they need. Universe mode has done a great job of slowly evolving in the last 5 years to give us some great features. But there's still a lot more within the game that they can do in universe mode that you wouldn't have to have GM mode. I think we should let go, as somebody that has been dealing with this a long time, I think we should let go of the idea of GM mode in the game. Universe mode can slowly keep incorporating these features. One of the things that was my favorite thing in GM mode was the cheese. Now imagine your ratings are dipping. If you've seen my series, you know ratings plummet no matter what you do. Whether that was a game time decision or whether that was a game design decision based on you have to go in and make a show popular, build up your superstars, and Pulse is gonna learn when I whoop his butt in a GM mode series. Oh, did I just give that away? When I do GM mode, I tend to cheese. You guys asked me to turn off injuries, and therefore it necessarily wasn't as realistic. Some of my favorite stuff to do was never the Times Square jumping off of the buildings or treadmills or things a lot of people loved. I don't really remember that from the games like Hell in a Cell and Here Comes the Pain. To be honest with you, just like I'm a WWE fan, probably not as much a wrestling fan, and that's what I'm trying to change and learn more about professional wrestling outside of the gated walls of Stamford, Connecticut, you tend to learn that going back and playing those games, I had that nostalgia feeling where I just enjoyed it. Like, yeah, you know on WWE TV, you're not going to have a guy go up to a pipe and the pipe's not going to bust in your face and make you blind or take you down, but who cares? It's a video game. For the longest time, I had those blinders on that said, listen, it's a realistic game, so why do we need all that stuff? The backstage fighting with the cars has been a slow evolution. You've been able to do stuff more and more. One year we had a completely dedicated backstage area where my career, instead of having it in the menus, we just try to adjust it so you walk around. But then that became super repetitive. Kind of like GM mode did with the fact that when you build up a superstar, or season mode where you go through 1 year, then you start to repeat stuff. So the games that we do know and love had their benefits and they had their pros. Buried alive matches, casket matches. For some people back in the day when it was appropriate, bra and panty matches or inferno matches, or there was a different bunch of match types that fit the era. The problem is now it seems like we're trying to put matches in things that are actually happening on TV. I've said this before, but it seems like there's a fun quota within the video game, and I'm ready to smash that fun quota. I want to be like Cody Rhodes taking that sledgehammer. When I was at the gym today with CM Pulse, I took that sledgehammer like Cody Rhodes did, and I want to take it to this foundation that 2K's built and smash it to pieces. But at the same point, I also love the foundation, so just give me more. And if Yuke's does build a competing game, I hope it's under the WWE banner. Don't get me wrong, I do want an AEW video game. I do want a video game kind of like TNA, because even TNA had a great game back in the day with TNA Impact. It just got very repetitive and there were some problems with it. So as I've gone through, and I'll show you my collection really quick, I have this huge binder of games that I put them in. Here Comes the Pain, Shut Your Mouth, 2010. Road to WrestleManias were great for playthroughs, and I completely enjoyed them. Once I found out that one of my close buddies was actually writing some of the Road to WrestleManias as a designer, I thought that was even cooler. Crazy stuff like the urn. Did I ever think that somebody should be capturing souls kind of like it is on TV? It was like it turned it up a notch and made it fun. As much as I used to sit there playing going, what are we doing? That's what I kind of miss the most. And all of these games that are in this binder, from SmackDown vs. Raw, SmackDown vs. Raw 06, 07, Crush Hour. By the way, I've never played Crush Hour, which I gotta get a chance to actually try out. Legends of Wrestling. I missed a complete generation of games on the N64, the GameCube. I missed games like WrestleMania 18. So I don't know if I can fully call myself a WWE video game fanatic, because a lot of what I loved started with stories. So I've been trying to learn more which you guys love and what you're after with a video game. So if I'm lucky enough to get invited, it's not just saying, well, we need this stuff, because the stuff that I've pitched the last couple years would improve a simulation. We felt like we fought an uphill battle of telling people something, and then maybe or probably not, it doesn't make the game, and it kind of burns you out, so you just kind of lose all hope. I still remember walking into the WWE 2K15 room and saying bluntly out loud when they said we could be honest about the video game, wow, this is really cool, too bad nobody's going to enjoy it. Not necessarily the fact that it was bad, but it was slow and it was a complete revolution and spin from what you're used to, and it takes a long time to get used to. So I think it would be very weird after getting used to all the simulation style games to switch everything up. Out of all the games I've mentioned from that binder, some of my favorite features were obviously 24/7 and Superstar mode. But back then, console limits would, with the 8 megabyte stick, or on Xbox 360, you could only have one game save. I started just a week and a half ago on this channel a Triple H season mode in SmackDown vs. Raw 08. But the problem was I also started a GM mode, not realizing it wrote over the game save. So these are some things that the next generation of consoles, if brought back, could make even better. If you had Road to WrestleManias, where the people that were working on the game, like the visual concepts, you could let them go wild with a story. You can let them write it. They already do with My Career, and I think they do a great job. When they started My Career, I never thought you would literally have the evolution of Baron Blade. That you would have Baron Blade from a wrestler you competed against who eventually became a backstage agent. I guess I overlooked the entire story of WWE because I didn't bother with My Career. Because again, it got to the point where I realized rather than just make it fun or make it about me with a character, I try to do stuff that would pop views and try to beat the system. And that shouldn't be the case. I essentially lost who I was just trying to have fun playing video games. And since I've came back playing stuff like WWE Universe Mode, you see some of the glaring issues with Universe Mode. For those people that used to tell me they played Universe Mode, there were some that never bothered to change up stuff, so the matches got very repetitive. If you've seen my Universe Mode simulations in WWE 13 or WWE 2K14, you've seen 9 out of 12 pay-per-views, the same superstars eventually at some point competed against each other. Now, you look at everything with community creations, with Face Importer, with the graphics, we have all the tools in the modern day game to give us one hell of a capture device. Well, that's for creators. We have the option at this point, if you bring in these features like Road to WrestleMania or custom stories, or things that allow your user base to create a better experience. One of the big features that's always requested was custom theme songs. The old games used to have the availability where you could have custom theme songs. But since the YouTube crackdown, I don't use theme songs anyway, although custom soundtracks would be great to put in horrible royalty-free music to be able to use. So everything from past generations always needed tweaks. And that's why I think even though that we hold on to those memories and nostalgia, remembering things better than they always were, or if you go back and actually play them, you start to know, wow, I was just so burnt out. Kind of like WWE television. You wish for the glory days. Kind of like the CM Punk era. But then you go back and watch some of the TV during that era and you realize you just love CM Punk and you overlooked a lot of stuff. Same thing with the Attitude Era. There was just a lot of characters. So with the video game and listening to all your feedback, like I said, if I get the chance to advocate for you guys and speak out vocally about the video game, I'm going to do just that. Because this is the time when we have multiple companies. It is the best time to be a wrestling fan in the world. The fact that WWE 2K, I can use it to make any federation I want, like GTS Wrestling, where I can make the rings, I can make an arena, I can put in sponsor logos if I want to, I can have any character known to man in all those game modes of old would be the perfect package. I don't know if 2K would be able to sell that. I don't know if the casual consumer would buy it, but I have to imagine that it would be a lot more fun than just doing a My Career going through in universe mode. So now that we have this next generation console that's capable of so much more, with like the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever it's called, Scorpio coming out soon, this could finally be the time we get all this. Unless they have to start from scratch, which is the one thing that worries me. 2K20 will be on PS4 and Xbox One. But if, like when they left Xbox 360 and went to Xbox One or PS3 to PS4, it presented challenges. I've talked a lot about the Xbox 360 games back then, but if you look at the jump from that console, everything that was captured in those engines couldn't be updated, and that's why they got scrapped, like Story Creator. I said for the longest time, and justified, I get why you took it out. Now in this new video game, if they jump to next-gen consoles, they have to probably keep making PS4 for a little bit, but will everything they've captured in My Career that I just want them, just please put it in a Story Creator. Just give me the option to go through and literally, it's got to be really simple like create a video, same thing. Just let me organize match scene, we've already talked about this, but give me those options. Now, if the next generation of console, and this is something we have yet to even touch on, and that's the kind of the cliffhanger I'm going to leave you on so I can get your honest thoughts, do you think WWE is going to have to scrap what they're working on now? Is the foundation strong enough for the simulation style, or is that why Ukes is working on a new style of game? Are they going to take chances? Are they finally realizing, like WWE, because they're scrambling. They just hired Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman. Will the WWE games go back to some of our favorite creators? I still love the team that's at 2K, and I have a lot of respect for what they do. It can't be easy, and no one is saying it is, but we all just want a fun game. So I'm going to do it in a constructive way. I'm going to call out the stuff that I don't enjoy. I'm going to stop pretending, and I'm going to stop basically co-signing everything and giving you an excuse for why it is the way it is. Because I don't know. I'm not in the dev room, and I don't know those decisions. So I'm going to go back to being a fan, and that's what I look forward to the most. So as a fan of the WWE game series, whether that's the 2K, whether it's the THQ games, the Midway games, Acclaim, whoever made your favorite video games, like we've already talked about, what are some of the features that, if updated to the next generation consoles, what could those generations of consoles provide some of your favorite game modes? Special guest referee in the old days was my favorite thing because I would play with friends. When I remember, unlike CM Pulse, who remembers jumping off of Times Square or all the crazy stuff with treadmills, I remember playing special guest referee with my friends, sitting in a room, listening to the theme songs, and then ultimately screwing a best buddy where you're sitting all around each other with the console controllers, and you're like, sucks to be you. That's what I miss. And online definitely needs a lot of work, and we're going to talk about WWE 2K Online in a future video. But those are just some of the things I had to get off my chest. So WWE 2K, if for some reason you find this video, just imagine what it was like as a video game fan. I know you're up against deadlines, corporate structure, video game companies are making record profits and laying off companies and laying off talent, and it can't be easy. As much as I want to criticize you, I know you are up against a hill. But I promise you, if you fight the battle, the fans will support you. And I know I will. So until next time, I'm Tubby Emu. And I'm going to go back and play all these old video games and figure out why I loved them in the first place. I want to go back and rediscover my love for these games, not just making it for content. And I want to take you on that journey. WWE 2K19 and Universe Mode in my career, I always avoided because it was too realistic. But my main event series I'm doing, even with low views, is one of my favorite things. Because I'm going out of my way to put myself on main events, to go back to the nostalgia, to fight the power of having no fans in attendance, to build it all back up from the ashes and become something again. I don't want to blame the video game. I've blamed myself, and that's what I want to focus on. So until next time, I've been Tubby Emu. Let me know from your favorite video game, something that you want updated in a future generation. And I don't want to just hear, I want GM mode. What was your favorite thing about GM mode? What is universe mode missing that instead of going to the devs GM mode or Riot, give me some ideas that they can incorporate in universe mode. Computers, signings, give me trophy dates. Allow me to go in and rank up my superstar. Although they already do a superstar attribute. So, I mean, I guess you can do that anyway. You just have to pretend to go into the menus. But I don't want to pretend. I just want a great video game. So until next time, it's been your boy Tubby Emu. I don't know how much of this you're going to see without me cutting it all out. But until next time, we will see you all later.
Problems on problems on problems, I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. A phone in affection, I summon and dub it.